Hey everyone, Onita here. How are you all going? Do you remember a few videos ago when I had said I am in the middle of some series? I have added another series, so from 8 we are now on to 9 series I am in the middle of. Yeah, it's 10 series now. Oops. So this video is just me talking about them. There are going to be no series that I am caught up on, or I'm up to date, or I'm completed. If you want me to do another video where I talk about the books or the series I have completed and the series I am up to date on that are still ongoing, please let me know, because I'll be happy enough to do that video for you. The first series is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I am up to Heir of Fire, and it follows Selena. She is an assassin, a very good assassin apparently. She was captured, she was betrayed and captured in the salt mines of Endovia. Next thing you know, a guard to the king, I think it's a guard, I don't think it's the son like the prince, I think it's the guard of the king, says, hey, if you want to become free, if you want to escape this prison, you need to train to become the champion to the king. So she does, she agrees, no matter what, at what cost, she is going to become free, she is going to escape the salt mines of Endovia. And that is pretty much it. That's pretty much it. She has to do these tournaments, she has to train to become the king's champion and to also do his dirty work for him. And I love this. It really took me by surprise, this series. Like I have said, I'm up to book 3 now. I'm slowly making my way through it. Attack on Titan by Hajime Isayama. The 34 volume series. I am up to volume... What volume am I up to? I can't remember. I'll leave it in the bottom of the video which volume I'm up to, but I am nearly finished. I'm over the halfway mark. Because I struggle to give you a synopsis of what the book is about or the series is about. For the past century, what's left of mankind has hidden in a giant 3-walled city, trapped in fear of the bizarre giant humanoids known as the Titans. Little is known about where they came from or why they are bent on consuming humankind. But the sudden appearance of an enormous titan is about to change everything, and oh boy does it ever. The plot twists, the little bits of foreshadowing, the characters, the world, scary enough as it is to be in a world like this where titans are going around munching people. Oh boy, it's just... everything about this is so good. The plot, the attention to detail, the storyline, the characters, the action scenes. Like, I do feel like the anime will translate it a little bit better, the action scenes, because I have said this before, but with some action scenes it's a little hard to translate just because they're quite fast, the action scenes, I like to think. But it's yeah, this one of the best series I've read, and I can't wait to watch the anime. I kind of already had started watching the anime. I was up to like season 1 episode 5, but I decided to stop the anime and to focus on the manga, so I can focus more on the manga than the anime, so I don't get too confused on what the heck is happening. Dune Chronicles by Frank Herbert. I am up to book 3. I read the first 2 books. The Spice Melange is the rain... I think it's Melange. The Spice Melange is the... or Melange, whatever. Just call it the Spice. It is the rarest and most valuable element in the universe. It does everything from increasing a person's lifespan to making interstellar travel possible, and it can only be found on a singular planet, the inhospitable desert world Arrakis. Whoever controls Arrakis controls the spice, and whoever controls the spice controls the universe. When the Emperor transfers stewardship of Arrakis from the noble House Harkonnen to House Atreides, the Harkonnens fight back, murdering Duke Leto Atreides. Lady Jessica, Duke Leto's concubine, flees into the desert with their young son Paul, where they are rescued by a band of Fremen, the native people of Arrakis. The Fremen control Arrakis' second great resource, the monstrous worms that burrow beneath the burning desert sands. In order to raise an army to avenge his father and retake Arrakis from the Harkonnens, Paul must earn the trust of the Fremen and lead a tiny army against the innumerable forces aligned against them. So sci-fi to the T. I really am enjoying this series. There's this kind of like workings behind the scenes with characters in higher positions of power, and how these characters are merely just chess pieces in a larger plot that these really really high-ranking people have. It does talk a lot about godship. Oh, another thing I've realized as well, even in the second one, the people with this immense power, with this immense expertise in all these different kinds of fields, that they want to control the monopoly and how it backfires on someone. And playing God has its consequences. It is a series that you do need to turn your brain on for, because you really need to be paying attention to what's happening. Like, I'm really surprised that I am enjoying it, because I thought I wasn't, not that I wasn't going to, but I was a little worried that I might be a little bit too dumb to understand it. But no, it's really, really good, and I can't wait to continue on with it, because I don't think the third one's good from what I hear, but the fourth one I heard, like the Chapter House Dune, I think that one is, I heard that one is really, really good and a lot of people's favorites. You then have the Hussite trilogy, the first one being Tower of Fools by Andrzej Sapkowski. It is the author of the Witcher series. This is so freaking dense. It's, okay, yeah, oh god, this plot is freaking long. You know, I just read the back of that when you're ready. Actually, I will leave a plot of what the book is about, because it's long, and it's been so, how long has it been since I read the first one? It's been a while, and the last two, it's a trilogy, the last two are long and dense. I know this first one was dense and it took me a little while to get through. Very, very historical fiction with little sprinklings of fantasy, and maybe even, I think it might be a little bit of touch of magical realism as well. But I still really enjoyed it. I need to know what's going to happen. Very heavily influenced on religion, because I think, yeah, it's very heavy on religion, between the different religions, and how like the Catholic religion want to reign over Europe. And it's like a bit of a war between the Catholics and the Hussites, which is a religion in Poland. So this is Polish historical fiction fantasy, but more heavily leaning on the historical fiction. We then have the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. This is a historical fiction romance, and it follows Claire, she and her husband Frank, on the honeymoon in Scotland, the second honeymoon in Scotland. She is a war nurse. He is a historian. I believe he's a historian, I think. She decides to go for a bit of a day trip. There's these like standing stones, like these stones in a circle. I think it's in Dune, I think it is. And it's been so long since I've continued on with this series, so I'm a little bit rusty with the names and the places. But Claire goes to this place where there are these stones kind of like sitting around or standing around in a circle. She puts her hands on a stone and she transports to 18th century Scotland, where she meets a fella, and she's embroiled in kind of, guess, well-known-ish or like really important historical moments in our time. It's a historical fiction romance. The attention to detail in the series is amazing. It's fantastic. This author, Diana Gabaldon, really does her research very, very well. And the further you get on into the series, the more, I don't want to say dense, but the more it leans into the historical fiction of it, and the more it leans into the moments in time, moments in history that really changed history, I guess you could say. And it is really good. It's very well written. The romance is really good as well. There's a TV show that I'm also behind on. I'm actually going to put a hold on the TV show because I want to read the books first. But the problem with the books though, the pages can be anywhere between slightly under 1,000 pages to like 1,500 pages long. It's a long, long series. The 9th book just came out not long ago, and it's going to be a 10-book series. I'm up to book 3. Yes, I'm up to book 3. Amazing, the series. Like I said, the attention to detail. I like the characters. It's really, really good. I just need to get on with it because I've been hanging on to this series. I've been in the middle of this series for quite a while now, and I need to finish it. Wayfarers series by Becky Chambers. It's about So it's not a series in the sense that that Throne of Glass is a series. It's a series of following standalone books. It's a series of standalone books. It's sci-fi as well. The first one follows a group of people. They take on a new person by the name of Rosemary. Rosemary is kind of running away from something, and everyone is kind of like hiding some sort of secret from each other. This spaceship, the Wayfarer, I believe the spaceship is called. This spaceship and the crew on this spaceship, they punch holes in the galaxy, which makes travel in space that much quicker. So like you can get from point A to point B within like a matter of like a few minutes, instead of taking like 10 years to go from one place to another. And then there is a new offer that this crew can't afford to lose, and they decide, hey, let us do it. They need to prove it to themselves and to prove it to other people that we can do it. And they get embroiled in stuff that I kind of wish we had have gotten a little bit more of, but it's not really the focus of the series. It focuses more on the characters, not the politics with different nations, different races. But it is a really good book, the first one was. I had been wanting to read the series since I was a teenager, so like around 10 years I've been wanting to read it, and I'm glad I started reading it around now, which was more like last year. But you know, I do need to get onto the next one, because the way that the first one ended, it really set up beautifully for the second one, and the second one follows an artificial intelligence. If you've read the first book, I think you might know who it is, because you know, that scene, that was actually kind of heartbreaking. It was really kind of sad, that part was. We then have the Tearling series, the first one being The Queen of the Tearling. It is a trilogy by Erika Johansen. Kelsey is 19 years old when she is pretty much being taken from what she knows, and she is going to sit her throne. She has to kick her asshole of an uncle off the throne so she can take over the Tearling. The Tearling is not really doing very well. Her mother before her was a terrible queen. When she was a little baby, Kelsey was taken from her mother, and she was raised by two people who were parental figures, but they were kind of like step parents kind of thing. And people want to kill Kelsey so that she can't sit the throne. Like I said, she's 19. As soon as she turns 19, she's whisked away back to her rightful place on her throne, but she has to live long enough to take it back from her asshole of an uncle. It is another series that I wanted to read for quite a while when I was a teenager, and I finally got around to doing that this year, and I just want to, you know, continue on with it because it is very interesting. It feels, well, it is young adult because Kelsey is 19, so she's still technically a teenager, or like young adult, in like the young adult age that she would be normally classified as. That makes no sense. It's a very mature YA. It's not in the YA section, it's actually in the adult section, and it is quite heavy on those adult themes where there's like a lot of blood and murder and dying and everything like that. There were some scenes that I was quite surprised by. I thought we were going to see a little bit more of a certain character that I don't want to name because I'm afraid of spoiling it for you. But you know, when you read a series and you think, oh, this is the big bad of this series, and you think you're going to be seeing them all the time, didn't turn out the way that I thought it was, but it just kind of seems like there's multiple bad people in this series. I then also this year started reading the Sandman Chronicles, or the Sandman comic book series by Neil Gaiman. It follows, you'd think I'd know, but it's been a few months, and I just love these 30th anniversary editions. It's so good. So we have Dream. His powers were stolen from him, and he is gonna bring his powers back. He's gonna steal his powers back. That makes him that makes him the king of the dream space, of the dream land. And this is a very reflective cover, I apologize. So I read the first three and the prequel book as well earlier this year, and I really enjoyed this series. I'm very curious to see, because I've heard around volume 4 is when things are starting to kind of click into place, and are starting to make sense and are starting to become a little bit more connected. It's good. I like the art style. I think I prefer the art style in the prequel a little bit better. I will say, if you've seen the Netflix adaptation, it's pretty much very similar to the comic. And I think that the Netflix adaptation did a decent job at adapting this for the screen. I think they did a good job. I do have to finish that series though. I've got like 2-3 more episodes to watch. I'm so bad with watching TV shows these days. And then we have a recent series that I recently picked up, which makes the 9th series I am in the middle of, Spy Family by Tatsuya Endo. And it follows Twilight. He is a spy in an agency, for like a spy agency, and he needs to infiltrate this academy to get close to a son there. This son's father is a bad guy, and he wants to disturb the peace, or the peace between the East and the Western nations. Twilight needs a fake family to infiltrate this Eden Academy school thingy, and he needs a daughter, so he adopts young Anya, who is a telepath and she can read minds. He adopts her to infiltrate this school to get close to the son, to then get close to the father, so that Twilight can gain information on this bad guy and stop him. But the one thing is that he also needs a wife, so there's like a marriage of convenience between Yor, who is an assassin, and the wife of Twilight, the fake wife of Twilight. The three of them with Anya make a very entertaining family. I love this series a lot already. It's good. It's so heartwarming, funny, cute, it's adorable, it's lighthearted with some serious moments, because there are some moments where you think, ugh, like that was a close call here. And this world is a bit of a dangerous place as well. Like there is some sort of history between the East and the West. They seem to have had some sort of conflict before that we don't really know too much of. Will we ever get to know and find out what happened like a decade ago before, or I'd like to say like 10 plus years ago. But I think the 10 plus years ago, or the 10 years ago that I keep hearing in the book, is, in the series I mean, is the actual peace agreement between the East and the West. We don't know entirely what happened, but it is briefly mentioned here and there. I just have such a great time with the series. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You're probably wondering what the 10th series I am in the middle of now, and it's Jujutsu Kaisen by Gege Akutami. I'm probably pronouncing that name wrong, so I apologize. It's another manga that I have had my eye on for a little bit. Although Yuji Itadori looks like your average teenager, his immense physical strength is something to behold. Every sports club wants him to join, but Itadori would rather hang out with the school outcasts in the occult research club. One day the club manages to get their hands on a sealed cursed object. Little do they know the terror they'll unleash when they break the seal. I have a bad feeling that this series is going to be in a similar vein to Attack on Titan, where the first few volumes are a little on the lighter side, and then after that it's pretty much like once you get past a certain point, it's pretty much just darkness and sadness. I've heard of some things. Now I haven't spoiled myself to the extent that I have with Attack on Titan, but I've heard some things. I think there might be monsters. I think there's sorcery. Look, the reason why this series has bumped it up a little bit for me is because of Gojo. Gojo is, oh my gosh. But all of the characters in this series are so freaking good looking. Holy shit. But Gojo, oh my god, Gojo. There's something about Gojo, okay, because I need to read it, I need to watch the anime, I need to immerse myself in this world. So that's the 10th series I'm in the middle of right now. I know that's not a lot, but considering a lot of these books, a lot of these series are a little bit denser, a little bit longer. You need your brain power a little bit to understand what the frickin' hell is happening. That's why I'm kind of like a little bit panicky, because I know I need to get a wriggle on, because a lot of these series I started 2-3 years ago, and I need to continue on with them and at least to finish them by next year hopefully, but who knows. I need to get them finished soon. Let me know what and how many series you were in the middle of. I would really like to know. We can all panic and freak out together, and I will see you in another video. Bye for now.